Hello colleagues! Today I will tell you about my favorite racket. It's the Bubblemaker racket. And after watching this video, you can clearly understand which Bubblemaker makes more bubbles, which one is more reliable and which one it would be better to choose. So watch this video till the end and make your choice with me. We will start with the good Bubblemaker, with the legendary Bubblemaker racket, the production of Gazillion. This is such a wonderful set, which was originally made by Fan Yang. As I understand, it was made as a toy for children, but it became the best friend for artists of Soa Bubble Show all over the world. The Bubblemaker racket is made of very solid plastic. I'm not afraid to say that it will serve you forever. Now many artists of the Soa Bubble Show paint it with liquid rubber to make it black. I also used to do it, but I don't use it anymore, and to be honest, I hold it in my hands with the feeling of nostalgia. Let's see how it works. Dip it. We are not interested in central bubble today. Wave it one time and one more. Well, we get quite a lot of Soa bubbles. Actually, it's a good universal racket. I can't say anything bad about it. Well, except that it's blue, of course. All in all, it's a good requisite. Friends, I have a question for you. Write in the comments below for what purpose Fan Yang made this thing. Why is it here? I will wait for your comments. Let's read them together. Let's see the most interesting answer. The next thing is a Bubblemaker racket, which I call inspired by Gazillion. In fact, it's not only little blue rackets exist, there may be also green rackets. Here is a fundamental difference in plastic quality. You can see that this one has already lost some of its component parts. Well, it's very clear why it has happened. The fact is that the plastic here is completely different, and if I do back and forth movements, I will definitely break this ring. I won't do it now, it's not my racket. I don't want to buy a new one to anyone. I know if I continue, I'll break it off. Just believe my words. By the way, there is no ring on this one. Let's check it out. We wave it. Well, in fact, bubbles came out. For fairness, let's take the racket where all the rings are at their place to make sure it's fair. Well, they fly, of course. It flies less than from the original one. I'll tell you one more thing. You know, unfortunately, the bubbles from this Bubblemaker stick together. I'll show you why. Please pay attention that in comparison with this, the copy is slightly incorrect. You can see the original Bubblemaker racket has more distance between the rings, and the ring itself is smaller. This is why the bubbles do not stick together in foam. And here the proportions are not correct, so we get flying foam. It's sad. It may be easily broken and the foam flies out of it. Probably it has more disadvantages than advantages. Move to metal rackets. Here, of course, no one tried to repeat the shape of Gazillion. Well, as you can see, we have a form of a snowflake here, but the function is actually the same. Let's try to wave. We will wave one racket for the purity of the experiment. Of course, we get fewer bubbles from one, but if we make a swing with two rackets, if you make a swings with two, the bubbles are larger. We get less of them, but they are larger. I don't know, is it good or bad? The only thing I can say is that metal is more solid than plastic, of course. But they are heavier than the original Gazillion. I use them. I'll explain why. Because it is very important for me that all my requisite to be in the same style. For me, the mix of everything in the aspect of requisite is inappropriate. I don't think it looks good. So here it is. This is another kind of Bubblemaker rackets. Another variant is wrapped with some interesting felting thing. Now we will try to test it. Wow, it's not completely drowning, but I'm going to help him to get enough soap solution on it. We are honest people, so wave it. Well, in fact, I can't say that it's really bad, but I can say that it's very good either. For me, this racket is closer to category of big Bubblemaker rackets than to the smaller ones. Well, probably because of its size. Quite bulky requisite. But in general, it makes bubbles, you've seen it. Such a racket we have next. Now we will see how it works. It doesn't want to drown either, probably because my soap solution level is not very high, but it's okay. Wave it. Ouch. One more time. We make everything fairly. Well, it's far from perfect. To be honest, I think the reason is the wrapping material. Because it's something very thin, it's made of some small threads, I don't think you can see it very well. I'll try to squeeze it out like this. Here are some threads and they're very tiny. And I have the feeling that they soak up a little liquid. And this is probably the reason for a small number of bubbles. Well, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed. Let's try to wave the next racket. So, here we have the same wrapping. Well, let's see what will happen. I'll burst the central membrane. I want to do it again. Well, you know, there are a lot of bubbles. But with given the number of rings that are here, it seems to me that there might have been more of them if the wrapping would be different. I think the trouble is in the wrapping. What I want to say is that the distance between the rings is really good here. Perhaps it would be better to do it a little wider. Well, bubbles can stick together somewhere here, but it's quite insignificant. And now we will test another racket. Here it is. This is a big Bubblemaker racket. Let's try to wave it. One more time. Well, I also have a feeling that it's not enough. Okay, I was the reason. Here the main purpose is not to make a lot of bubbles, but to make large soap bubbles. Well, in proper amount. Big Bubblemaker racket is an addition to the small ones. We reviewed all Bubblemaker rackets I had. Which one to choose is your decision, of course. I made my choice, I'll show it to you. Of course, we use what we produce. It's better to say what we use, we produce. If you enjoyed this video, please put your like on it, subscribe to my channel, and by the way, let's take a survey in the comments below. What is the most popular Bubblemaker racket? Write what Bubblemaker racket you use and we will find out which Bubblemaker racket is the most popular in our country.